Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am with my boy, Jack Rayner.
Peace.
He is a client of mine. He's also an online coach, and he is now literally like just over a week out from his first show with the UK DFBA. He is doing men's physique. It's going to be a big class, competitive class, but he's in shape. You're going to see some of that in this video. We're going to train together and give you some insights into what the coaching process might look like with Revive Stronger. And I'm excited to take you through this one. Let's get into muscle works. Oh. Done it the wrong way. I thought that might happen.
Try this, you know.
So this was my makeshift D handle right here, but the Velcro is not strong enough to have kept this in place. I don't really want to use, it might be all right metal on metal.
Try that. This one isn't broken.
But this might be all right here. I'll just do, as long as it's not damaging it. We're going through, as you know, the same upper body workout today, but me and Jack are actually both a day and a week out from the UK DFBA Southern in Camberley. And actually Jack's class is going to be pretty huge. Well, how many? There was like 23 competitors?
25, yeah.
25 competitors in men's physique. Very popular class. I think I've got 3 in my class, so who knows? It's a bit of a lottery who turns up. I think it's great for Jack, first time competing men's physique, big class, get lots of experience, get lots of exposure out there. He's been dieting for a long time, lost a lot of weight, but he's in very good shape. And he's going to be very competitive for a first timer, I think. So,
I hope so.
How are you feeling?
All right, actually. I said to you, like, this fat loss phase is probably being like one of the easiest. I think it's because of the length as well. Like we've kind of chipped away very slowly. So yeah, it's been a while, but at the same time, it's having that kind of long fat loss phases and not being as aggressive. I think we've retained quite a lot of tissue. I think.
Well, your performance is pretty much held, if not improved.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, not looking to retain numbers, beating numbers.
Yeah.
Like, so that's really positive. And we did actually have planned to do a show in May. That was the initial intention, but our timeline got pushed back because of the old COVID. So we've got Jack and Adji again. Because we're in the same point of our mesocycle, we're both working basically until that point in which you can't go anymore. Naught area, failure, whatever you want to call it. You're basically taking the set as far as you can without major break of form or technique, using excess momentum. So Jack's going to take a quality set here all the way as far as that muscle can take it, basically. And I'm going to be there to hold his hand and support him and encourage him. Shout in his ear.
Yeah, do it. You can't do it this ear, though. Said I'm deaf in one ear, aren't I?
I just whisper. Keep going. That's it. I don't often train with a training partner. I think Jack actually regularly does train with someone else, am I right?
Yeah.
So regularly trains Ollie?
Yeah,
correct?
A vegan though, so...
He's a vegan. Is he actually vegan? Oh, congrats to Ollie for being vegan. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know how you normally do it in terms of with Ollie. Do you assist, like, to get out some extra, like, to get that assisted rep, or you do?
And normally it's like, if you're there, does that make sense? If you don't have someone there, it's kind of like you don't feel necessarily safe to go to like failure.
Right.
If someone's just there, just like even watching you, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
it's definitely having someone's eyes like on you. I even think if you're like recording yourself in the gym, you're just that much more on your technique, you're that much more with your intent, because you're filming it to eventually upload it, right? You want every set you do to be like Instagrammable quality. So that's what I always have in my mind when I'm training. But I'm not like assisting Jack for his reps, in that I know for me, if I was to have some assisted reps past failure essentially on this, it would impact the rest of my session. I don't normally have someone helping me. So I think the kind of stimulus and fatigue might be thrown off, and it might just throw out of balance the rest of the session. So I think if you are training with someone, kind of have a regular, how are you doing it? Kind of like you might regulate the amount of breathers you take on a set, for example. Don't just keep adding breathers, adding in a training partner, assisting you with more and more reps. I think that might just complicate things a little bit. So essentially I'm just there with my eyes on Jack, and I'm not kind of assisting him through this movement at least. I also don't think the sticking point on this is pretty decent. Like you don't feel like you can't shorten it.
No, yeah.
It's not like it suddenly makes it incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
Nice. Jack, does that setup work for you?
Where are you going? Here. You going in here?
Yeah. It's alright. Ignoring you. You 5'10"? Pretty much.
Say on the Cybex ones, you have like a little foot plate. So like,
okay.
You can bring, like, you know, when you're like in here and you're like, you got like this little foot plate. It just brings your chest up, and it's just so like simple, but
yeah, because you are like,
yeah,
let it ping.
Good.
Do you want to borrow them? All right. So this is quite nice because we did the first session here, and I was a smart bodybuilder and logged everything, so I knew basically what weight I should be doing week 1 versus this week. So I was down 1 on the stack, and I actually matched reps. No, I added some reps as well. I think I got like 1 stack up from this, 17 reps, whereas this is 20 reps, 1 stack down. So that was like 3-4 RER. That was a naught for me. Yeah. Look at that. Great. Yeah. In Jack's prep, we actually did kind of I guess you could call it like a double barrel prep in a way. The first phase, I don't like naming it prep, because I think people get into this mindset of like, I'm in prep, and they go like head first, black and white, must be on plan, can't do anything with their life. Whereas actually, even in Jack's prep, he's been like flexible to a degree of what prep can be. Having various events and occasions he's had to have been flexible for, and to credit to Jack, he's done fantastically well. I think a lot of people would have struggled with that, especially like first time like going for a show, not first time dieting and getting shredded. But what I was going to say is essentially we dieted off a lot of fat. We had a short maintenance phase, not as long as really we could have had if we'd known what was going to happen later in the year. We would have liked to have had it longer. We actually kind of ducked in and out of that quite quickly after a few weeks. But into like prep, we introduced refeeds pretty quickly from the get-go, about 2 refeeds per week. 1, because Jack actually, you said you did really well with refeeds, so he's even trialed them himself and done incredibly well. And then secondly, I think they can be really valuable, especially through an extended contest prep, where like having those days where you're just eating a bit more normally can just, for an adherence and enjoyment perspective, help a lot. And then all the other benefits in terms of replenishing glycogen, helping training performance. And we don't know, they haven't been studied in people as lean as Jack, so there may be some physiological benefits that haven't been reported within the studies that we've seen so far. And I think for Jack, they've been very helpful in just making it a much more maintainable prep. But how have you liked kind of that approach?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that obviously I tried before, but not the double, so the 2 in a row. So having that and having in your head like I've only got 5 dieting days has been like one of them things. It's just like a lot of dieting is not necessarily about the physical side of it, it's also like the mental side of it as well. So having them refeeds is, I think, has contributed a lot to retaining muscle. I said that obviously previously, but and also we can contribute that to the training performance being like decent the whole way through. Like I'm still retaining numbers and I'm like a week out. So it's just like, obviously I don't know these numbers today, but...
You're doing pretty well because Jack's keeping up with me, so I'm super strong. So if Jack's keeping up with me, he's doing very well. But yeah, Jack, brilliant point on the mental thing, because people talk about prep being a mental battle towards the end, and we know how helpful, like refeeds have been researched and shown to be kind of mentally beneficial from making prepping and dieting more kind of easy. So I think that's a like really valid point.
Yeah, I also think like with obviously we've got like BB coming up, so you've got like all of that data where we were like, okay, well this day we've had this refeed and it did this, and then so you've got that to go into the like peak week and essentially make it as stress-free as possible. You're like, there's the numbers, there you go, like done.
So yeah, with Jack's work, both of our actual peak weeks next week are going to be a progressive linear load, and actually, weirdly enough, we're in a very similar position in terms of like where our maintenance is, what our refeed carbohydrate intake is, and we have data, especially for Jack, lots of data based off that. Where does he look his best? How many carbohydrates can he get away with? And so we've got a really kind of a smooth approach coming into this peak week because his carbohydrate tolerance is very high. It's not like he's been starved to carbohydrates for ages and he's going to like blur and wash out really quickly because he can't handle as many carbs as he should. So yeah, it should be very exciting, especially with all the stress dropping off from deloading as well coming through that week. I'm very excited for that. When a client's getting closer to stage, I like to basically ghost them and don't give them any feedback and just run away because I'm scared that they're not going to be ready in time and I fucked up, and I like leaving them in the lurch really because you know what, they're stressed out, they're close to stage, they're really nervous, and that's the best thing to do at that time.
You joke about that, but that happens quite a lot.
That is the joke. It's awful. That happens all the time in this industry where like clients will be in need and the coach will just be non-existent, whereas actually at this period of time check-ins want to be more regular, communication wants to be more effective, more efficient. So for contest preppers, they have me on WhatsApp so we can communicate very, very quickly, but also where we normally have one check-in a week, it would be twice a week at minimum. And then during peak weeks, it'll literally be daily. We'll be kind of babysitting a look that we're trying to achieve because that's so important. You can't have like a black and white plan where you're just like, yeah, just increase your carbs every day by 50 grams and you're good to go, you're going to be perfect. Because things change. And so there's been regular occasions where, especially for someone like Jack, where he's a coach himself, he's very knowledgeable, he knows his body actually better than I probably will know it. I can get valuable feedback from Jack, which is going to help me make more effective coaching decisions. So we actually make a lot of decisions cooperatively. So it's not just like, Steve says this. Sometimes, like, as a coach, you have to do that, and sometimes the client wants that. But sometimes, like, Jack is like, I think this might be the right call. And I'm like, you know what? You've convinced me enough. I definitely see that way as well. So it's been really great to be able to have that.
I say, if I like ruin it, then it's not your fault.
Yeah, if it goes wrong, I just blame Jack. Like, I knew I should never have listened to you, but yeah.
So whilst Steve's doing a set, I'm going to slag him off a little bit. And basically, why I chose Steve as a coach was I wanted someone, because this is my first time competing, I wanted someone who was kind of, I knew, who number one had knowledge, and number one who's just kind of a friend. I feel like when you're being coached by someone, you need someone to be, you don't want to hate the person, right? So Steve, for me, and Revive Stronger, was such an easy choice. Because I knew the communication was going to be on point, I knew the knowledge was going to be on point, I knew that he wasn't going to be a dictator, which was very important to me. As Steve said, coaching is just all about kind of toing and throwing all the time. And with Steve, you're not going to get this like dogmatic approach. You're going to get someone who will take what you're saying and say, this is a good route, this is a bad route, or I agree with that route. 9 times out of 10, luckily it's been the agree with that route, just from the simple fact that, again, we're kind of friends off air, as it were. So that's mainly why I chose Steve as a coach. It's been very stress-free. keep looking at it and wanting to eat it, but...
So this actually hat was on sale. I'm very, very thrifty, so I like a bargain. That is one big reason. And I love pizza. Pepperoni pizza is actually not my go-to. I would have preferred a margarita hat, Neapolitan style, but pepperoni pizza, I'd go there. Favorite food, very, very pleasurable food.
They do an avocado hat, don't they?
Avocado hat?
Yeah, they do one like that.
Yeah. I do like avocados.
Oh, hi, do you have a courgette spaghetti hat, please?
They still don't look lined up. I think they are. When a client approaches Revive Stronger for coaching, we actually have quite a comprehensive coaching page where we give you some insights into how it would work, but we also have like a step-by-step process of we want you to do this, this, this before you apply. And essentially it's understanding kind of who we are, what our kind of philosophies are, have a look at our social media, maybe check out the podcast, and be in a good place to kind of come to coaching so that when you come and you get your consultation, we're already on a very kind of like, you know what you're getting into, you know what we're about. You're not just like, oh yeah, I wanted fat loss coaching, I found you on Google. We want a bit more than that, so that when you invest time into us and we set aside time for you, we have a really great kind of connection from the get-go, because you're like, you see eye to eye. So by doing that, we kind of already have a screening process in place, so that when clients come to us, they're really like, they're a good client. They're gonna get on with online coaching, they know how to perform the basic movements, they have a basic understanding of nutrition, so that they can excel with online coaching, because some people, they're just better off with a one-on-one PT, or someone a bit more specialized in helping someone more novice, whereas we're looking for quite advanced people who have a very good understanding of the basics already. So we have that consultation, you get to know one another, and that sets things up really well from the get-go, to be honest. And if someone's already invested all that time doing the background research, they've set aside time to have the consultation, that's gone well, they're already a very prime candidate for online coaching. And then what makes someone kind of from that step to be very successful is essentially understanding what is required from them. I think sometimes people sign up and they're just like, oh yeah, I get a coach, I'm gonna get great results, I don't have to invest time and effort. But you still have to check in, you still need to send your check-in video, fill out your spreadsheet, you need to do your job on your end so we can help you as best as possible. We always say the more you put into your coach, the more you'll get out. Come with questions, come with kind of sitting down and actually making some notes about your week. Don't just kind of do a video and go, yeah, all good, like my spreadsheet's filled out. We want to know some context behind what's going on so we can help you as best as possible. So it needs to be someone who's willing to invest a little bit into the process themselves and be open and honest. Don't kind of have questions at the back of your mind, not asking them. Don't feel like, oh, this isn't right for me, and not passing it by the coach. Just be really honest and be like, okay, this isn't good for me, or this is, because that will allow us to then customize things as best as possible for you. So it's coming with that kind of background of research, being sure that you're on the same page, and then just being open and honest and being willing to ask questions and invest into the process. That makes a really good client.
You need to load up a lot. No.
It's still too light.
How many sets you got?
You might want it too heavier than that, I think.
How many sets?
It's how many sets? 2 sets. Yeah, I can't really get past doing, I do 2 sets of biceps 3 times a week. I'm like, my biceps get blown up every time just from that.
Mine too. Don't know what it is.
That's solid. Hit that 90. Oh, you're probably shaking because we just trained, actually.
Yeah.
I was thinking, are you like, you're not. It's good. Nice. And when you're practicing these, you can hit them like, you don't even have to necessarily pose very hard to just get into the movements.
Yeah, obviously you can't see yourself when you're on stage, so it's just like...
Yeah, no, exactly.
I just got to get these down.
You can record it, review it.
Yeah.
That's it. If you can see your elbow in the corner of your eye, you know you're in a good spot. That striation's good. Wrap it round. Arm looks huge there as well, it's good.
Yeah. I should do something like from here.
Yeah. Can you get your elbows in and higher at all?
Here.
Yeah.
So, in.
As long as it doesn't take away from the clamping down on the abs. There you go. You just want to keep them in and, well, as high as possible, really. Oh yeah, sure. This is Jack off the back of, took a refeed a day ago. So he's like, and that wasn't like a refeed that's necessarily going to fill him up fully anyway in terms of glycogen stores. So this is him looking pretty depleted, not as depleted as he could look, but a great point to start reducing stress, start building up carbohydrates through our peak week, which is coming. And I mean, obviously he's got a pump on now, but you will before stage. And this is a good representation of like, if you look ready like Jack does now, peak week is going to give you that extra 5%, which is what we're going to get, which is going to be really, really nice. And we've been working hard. Jack's been working very hard on bringing through kind of ab detail, which is super important for men's physique. And that's come. And you can see he's got them, like the frame is there, the potential is there. Depends who turns up on the day, but Jack's going to be very competitive. He's going to bring a really complete package in my eyes. And I think you should be super proud. Like, you're looking great.
I'd say it's definitely like the best physique we've ever presented. So that's all you can do.
So guys, we've just finished up in Muscle Works, both of our final sessions of this mesocycle, leading into our deload and peak week. So pretty, I mean, it should be like, we should celebrate this or something, but so we're done now. And hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some insights into the coaching process. Hopefully you got some good tidbits from that. And as ever, like, do support us, like, subscribe, give us a comment. Have you had a good coaching experience before? Poor coaching experience? Drop us in the comments. That'd be really cool to hear about. And we'll catch you in the next one.